Howdy, folks. I'm Wandering Watermelon, weirdly whispering wicked wishes.
I'm Amber.
And here are more wicked wishes for us to whisper about. Because watermelons are secretly out to get you. They're so sweet, so juicy, and so delicious, but so evil. Let's get started. Oh, and folks, we have a live stream coming up today, later on in the day. Maybe that was not the best introduction to tell you about the live stream, but it's there. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for kicking my brother out of my wedding for making my fiance cry? Throwaway because it's blowing up in my family and I don't want them finding this. My wedding was this past weekend and I'm honestly still in shock over what happened. My fiance, now wife, and I have been together for 7 years. We've gone through everything together, moving in, job losses, her battling with anxiety, everything. So our wedding day was supposed to be our day to finally celebrate all of that, right? Well, it was until my brother decided to ruin it. For some context, my brother is a 30-year-old male and has always had a weird thing about pranks. He calls them jokes, but honestly, they've always just been mean-spirited and embarrassing. Growing up, I would laugh them off and get mad, and he would say that I was being too sensitive. But this time, it went way too far. I thought that it would be nice, maybe he would say something heartfelt for once. But no, instead, he pulls out a slideshow of hilarious photos of my wife's old ones from her Instagram where she was crying, looking vulnerable, or just super unflattering. And he starts making jokes about her weight fluctuations, saying how she used to look like a twig when we first started dating and now she was more well-fed. My wife's face turned white, she started crying quietly, and my brother, he just kept going, laughing like he was the funniest guy on the planet. The whole room was dead silent. I saw red, I stood up and I walked over to him and I told him to leave right in the middle of his quote-unquote speech. I said that he was done and I didn't care that if he was my brother. My wife was humiliated. He tried to brush it off, saying that I was ruining the fun and that everyone thought that it was funny. No one laughed, not one person. He refused to leave at first, so I told security to get him out of there. He stormed out, calling me a drama queen on the way out. Now my parents are furious with me for embarrassing my brother at my own wedding. They think that I overreacted, that I should have just let it slide because he didn't mean it. My mom even said that my wife was overreacting too, and that it was all just part of his sense of humor. My wife hasn't stopped crying since. I told my family that we were taking a break from them, but now my phone is blowing up with texts from my mom and dad saying that I fractured our family and I've ruined my wedding over a joke. I get that I blew up, but I couldn't stand seeing my wife so hurt. Did I go too far? Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
First of all, I think we can see who the golden child is.
Yeah.
No, you did not go too far. That was a perfectly reasonable response to your brother bullying your wife, because let's call it what it is. This is not a joke. This is not funny. He's just there to belittle and humiliate your wife.
The only thing I can really fault OP for is even letting his brother stand up to give
Yeah.
a speech at all and not putting an end to it as soon
Sooner.
as he put a slideshow up,
Mm-hmm.
because it seems like there was a delay and why no one thought to escort him off before that point.
Yeah, or get his speech vetted or anything.
Well, there's not even saying that he would have stuck to a speech if
Yeah,
he
that's
had gotten it
fair.
vetted.
But at least then it would have been OP would have done some due diligence.
Yeah.
Certainly I don't think someone like this should have been given any kind of position in the wedding. And how do you get a whole slideshow set up and no one questioned it?
Well, they might have just had a slideshow going, and then he had the DJ already prepared and stuff like that for when he would go up and give the speech. I don't know. And it sounds like it was a sizable event if they had security, because who has security at their wedding, right? They must have a lot of guests there, I
Yeah,
guess.
well, all maybe other guests were using a slideshow, but I was like, why didn't anyone question when he was using a slideshow?
Yeah, well, I was assuming that they had a projector up that was doing pictures of them throughout the years or something like that, so that guests could come up and put pictures up, or I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
Yeah, that's not important. The important thing is that what he was saying was, again, not a joke. It was meant to humiliate and belittle her on what was supposed to be one of the happiest days of her life. And you definitely should have kicked your brother out, and your parents are being unreasonable. And yeah, you should not be spending time with people who are going to demean your wife like that and act like she's being too sensitive.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Lady Boss Pudding says, not the jerk. You protected your wife from a cruel attack. Your brother's actions were unacceptable, and your family's response is enabling his bad behavior. You did the right thing. And Acceptable Win 7332 says, yeah, this. Your brother really embarrassed your wife in what was meant to be a special day to celebrate you both. It sounds like he got a lot of growing up to do, and you are the first one to tell him so. Your wife is now part of your family, and your brother needs to realize that he has seriously messed up. Your parents have probably been enabling your brother too. He needs to man up and apologize. Alright folks, and speaking of weddings, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Uninviting 25 Family Members to My Wedding 6 Weeks to Showtime? I have had this Halloween wedding planned for 2 years. The venue that I wanted has a wait list. All of a sudden, my mom and grandma decided that the wedding was satanic and wanted me to make changes last minute. I told my mom and grandma a firm no. 2 years my family has known about this, and because I have told them, now half of my mom's side thought that they would be cute and say that they aren't coming in a random power struggle. I told them fine, and I canceled everyone's invitations who complained or backed my mom and grandma on this. One of my sisters acted like she stepped out of the bridesmaid's duty, so I replaced her. It was about 25 people that decided to act dumb with less than 6 weeks mark, so I sent out uninvites to them, and I sent out new QR codes for those attending, and the venue will check those to let people in. My aunt, who was also uninvited, told me that people are allowed to disagree with me, and that doesn't mean that I can pull an invitation from a wedding that they have made plans to attend. I told my aunt that they had 2 years to complain, but saying that you're not going at 6 weeks before my wedding is BS, and everyone messed around and found out, and I will not be bullied by my family over this. And folks, I want to read a little bit here in some of the comments, and then we'll get into the actual discussion. Fearless Hippo 1913 says, need more info. Did all the people you uninvited approach you and complain about the venue? What did your bridesmaid do to get cut out? And OP replies, it was mainly over uninviting my mom and grandma. The family saw it as disrespectful or something like that. The venue is a historical haunted location that does weddings. And folks, I think that was like the most important comment there, is that they're going to a haunted house, and that's why everyone seems to have a big problem with this. So, all right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I'm going to go with not the jerk, assuming that everyone knew in advance what the venue was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if, because this is 6 weeks before the wedding, like there's not time to change the venue unless you're going to somewhere like a park or a church. And I'm wondering, because OP's, mom and grandma are using the satanic argument, if they're not happy that OP is not having a church wedding and are trying to use this to force her hand last minute.
Yeah. And also to mention that OP is dressing up as the corpse bride for this wedding, and she'll be having her hair dyed blue for this, I guess. Or she'll be wearing a blue wig. I don't remember what she said specifically, but...
Yeah, I think a light blue dress and having the ends of her hair dyed or something like that.
Yeah. So, I think actually I agree with you in this particular case, where it seems like this is more like a way to force OP into... having a wedding more like what the mom and grandma wanted, because they were trying to probably thought that OP wouldn't uninvite them, or would, go over, bend backwards to make sure that they went to the wedding. So it seems like they were trying to manipulate OP in one way, shape, or form. I don't know to what end, but I agree with you. It would be really difficult to find a venue who would even host OP in such a short period of time. And I don't think that OP going to a haunted house to have their wedding is satanic, right? I don't think that would, nullify a wedding or anything like that, even in religious terms, right? Because haunted houses are for fun, right? I mean, they aren't really haunted.
Well, and I would understand people's discomfort if they had expressed it 2 years ago. And OP still wouldn't necessarily have to change the venue, but she would have at least had more information to work with. I think the waiting until 6 weeks before the wedding is where the biggest issue is. If people wanted to bring up their qualms 2 years ago, they had the chance. But at this point in time, again, it just seems like it's so last minute. It has to be some kind of, like OP says, a power struggle.
Yeah. And my only concern here, and I mean, I guess this could go either way, like OP may be a little heavy-handed with uninviting 25 people, but also if these 25 people are going to cause problems at their wedding, then I can understand why they would do that. But you only get one wedding, hopefully, right? And it's also going to be an event where their mother and grandmother aren't going to be present now. I could see them saying, putting their foot down and being like, well, that's too bad. You can either come or not come. But uninviting them, I don't know if that was the right move or not, right? I think that's only something that OP can decide.
Right. I mean, I think it depends on their family dynamics too. The way OP words things, it sounds like this may not be the first power struggle they've gotten into. And so if the family has a dynamic where they try and pressure people, then, that could explain why OP went to these measures. But yeah, like you said, we can't know because we don't know the ins and outs of OP's situation.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Will I be a jerk if I broke up with my fiance so he could be happier with my sister? I'm a 25-year-old female and I've been engaged to my fiance, a 28-year-old male, for about a month now. He's honestly amazing. He's kind, thoughtful, successful, and way outside of my league. I love him so much, but lately I've been thinking that maybe I'm not the right person for him. And maybe my sister, Tara, a 27-year-old female, would be a better fit for him. Tara is everything that I'm not. She's beautiful, smart, outgoing, and honestly, the type of woman that turns heads wherever she goes. She's always been the favorite in our family, and my parents adore her. And she's always making them proud. Ever since my fiance came into the picture, it's like my family has started hinting that they think that he would be happier with her. When I first introduced him to my family, they couldn't stop talking about how perfect he is. At first, I thought it was just normal family excitement, but it's gotten kind of weird. My mom constantly makes comments like, Tara and your fiance just have so much in common. And my dad has said things like, it's a shame Tara didn't meet someone like him sooner. They'd make a power couple. At family gatherings, Tara and my fiance seem to get along really well, and everyone keeps pointing it out. My aunt actually said, if your sister ever decides that she's ready for a serious relationship, she would be lucky to find a guy like him. While staring directly at them, and they talk while staring directly at them as they talked. I laughed it off because what else could I do? I know that Tara is incredible, and honestly, I'm just not sure I'm the right person for him. Tara is also spending a lot of time with him, and my family keeps encouraging it. She'll ask him to help with things like fixing her computer or moving furniture, and when I offer to come, she says, no, it's fine, I just need him for a quick favor. They have been spending time at the gym and attend similar events due to having similar jobs. My mom always says how nice it is that they're bonding, and my dad once joked, maybe you're just holding him back, sweetheart. Tara's more on his level. I know they mean well. I don't think so.
No, I don't.
But it's really starting to mess with my head. My fiance loves me, I know that he does, but I can't help but think that maybe he would be happier with someone like Tara. They're both so similar, and I feel like I'm just not good enough for him. I'm not as confident or outgoing as her, and I think that my family sees it too. At our last family dinner, Tara made a comment about how my fiance is the perfect guy, and how any woman would be lucky to have him. My dad actually laughed and said, well, there's still time for that, which made everyone awkwardly laugh, even my fiance. I felt sick. I've been thinking that maybe it would be better for everyone if I just stepped aside. I don't want him to be held back from being with someone who's actually his equal. My family already seems to think that they're better suited for each other, and honestly, I feel like I'm the odd one out in my relationship. I love him so much, but what if he's just settling for me? Will I be a jerk to break up with him to make everyone else happy? I'm not asking about my feelings, I'm asking if it would be cruel to my fiancé. Edit, thank you all for the replies. I'm now going to sit down with my fiance at noon for a discussion. I understand why this would make me a jerk to him, and I think that he deserves the conversation. Thank you again. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think, one, OP should cut off her family ASAP. No contact. These people do not have her best interests at heart. They seem like horribly cruel people who have beaten her down so much that she feels like a shadow of her sister. And that's not cool. And yeah, I think having a conversation with the fiance is important to find out what he's thinking about this whole situation. Because honestly, I'm concerned that he may already be cheating with the sister, given how much time he's spending with her one-on-one and whatnot.
I'm not.
You're not?
No, I'm not. I'm not at all.
And the way he's just laughing along with the jokes?
Well, I don't know if that was an awkward like laugh type of thing, right? I mean maybe he is, and maybe that was a too quick thing to say, but why propose to OP?
I mean, people do that all the time. Like, they propose and you find out, like, that they're cheating with the partner. Like, this would not be the first Reddit story we've heard of that happening.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, you point out a good point where he did laugh at this joke, and maybe this is eating OP at OP because of those instances, right? Maybe this isn't even the first instance of something where it's been a little off-putting or unsettling for him. But I would like to point out that OP, you should have a conversation, and the reason why is because he proposed to you, he didn't propose to Tara. And
Right.
there's a reason why he proposed to you over Tara. And if you're really this worried about holding him back, then the only way to find out, work through those problems is to actually sit down and talk to him. He's made a decision, and it would be in poor taste for you to make a decision for him just because you think you know what's better for him, right? And I mean, as the expression goes, if you love someone, let them go, but he's not even asking to be let go here, right?
Right. And so I think it's important to also talk to him about, why is he laughing along? Is he just like taking OP's lead, or does he genuinely like find out his motivations there? Why is he going to the sister's house one-on-one, like, instead of demanding that OP be there too? Because if the sister is making advances on him, you'd think he'd want to put distance. And that's my biggest concern, is the sister's having all these emergencies. Oh, I just have to have him fix my computer. Like, I can't imagine she's not making advances on him.
Oh no, my doily's all tangled. I need someone to help me. Right. I mean, this is I mean, I think you do bring up some really good points there. I think there are some warning signs here that she should address and she should talk to him about. And I think that OP needs to go into therapy,
Yes.
and I think also needs to stop hanging around with her family.
Yeah.
And I agree with you where you said that maybe she needs to go into contact with them. I mean, at least for a little while, to kind of start working on some self-confidence and start to realize that this isn't a normal family dynamic. It sounds like everyone just enjoys punching down at OP, and she's just their punching bag.
Right, exactly. So unless you get to a point where you and your partner are willing to set boundaries with the parents and leave anytime they start saying these disgusting things, like, he should just, like, I understand this is your family and it can be tricky, but, he should be shutting them down too. Like, unless he's like afraid that, like, it's gonna make things worse, or like just trying to follow your lead, it really should be one of those things where he's like, actually, I'm really happy with OP. She's perfect for me, or any number of things.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Revolutionary Dot 3432 says, "You're the jerk if you let your family ruin this relationship. They don't love you. They're using you to try to gain access to your soon-to-be fiance so that he can sleep with their other daughter. They are actively pushing them together, and you're letting them. Girl, you've got me messed up if you think that I would take that kind of disrespect from my family. That's some toxic level stuff right there. You need to have a real talk with your fiance about this and cut your family off. If you break up with him with no conversation and unilaterally decide this, then you don't deserve him anyways. You're looking forward to family gatherings of them hugging and kissing, holding hands and snuggling, cute names and giggling. You're going to do that to yourself. Real talk, that's just messed up. Grow a backbone and fight for your relationship and your future." And OP replies, "If I'm honest, seeing them together would hurt, but no more than everything else. I know my sister gets to have everything that I want and I get nothing. It's been like that for years, so I would be a little sad, but completely unsurprised and move on."
I mean, honestly, OP, you do not need to be around these people.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds like just long-term emotional abuse for OP. They really just need to seek therapy and work on some of these problems that they have, right? The self-esteem.
Yeah, and maybe start building a chosen family of people who like you as you are and support you and see the wonderful person you are.
Yeah. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A door.
A door, who.
A door is in my way. I might have to knock it down.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something like a play off of a door. I mean, that was unexpected. I will give it points for unexpectedness. And I have Earl Grey.
Yeah, well, it was spelled like the adore, but like since the way you said it, it still worked. It made it work even better. So.
Yeah. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. Guess what? We have a live stream today later on. See? Look, it's the 27th. But Amber, right now we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it on Family Bullying Family.
Don't bully people.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've said it before, but, if you're family or otherwise, just don't bully.
Yeah, it's a bad thing to do, especially the people you're supposed to love, but it's bad to do to anyone.
But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all later today.
Bye.